My son called me his weekend cleaning service as a joke. I wasn't laughing when I sold my house, moved across the country, and left him a note saying, "Find yourself a new maid." Before we start, don't forget to like this video, comment where you're watching from, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story like this. Have you experienced something like this? Please let me know in the comments. My name is Patricia. I'm 68 years old, and I used to live in Denver, Colorado. And this is the story of how my son tried to turn me into his weekend cleaning slave and how I taught him a lesson he'll never forget. It all started innocently enough. 3 years ago, my son Marcus moved with his wife Jennifer and their 2 children to a house just 10 minutes away from mine. "Mom, this is perfect," he had said. "Now we can see each other so much more often." How naive I was to believe that. The first week was normal. They came over for dinner on Saturday evening, and we had breakfast together on Sunday morning with the kids. It was lovely family time. But by the second weekend, things started to change. Marcus called me on Friday evening. "Mom, could you help us out tomorrow? Jennifer's mother is in the hospital, and we need to go see her. Could you watch the kids?" Of course I said yes. They were my grandchildren after all, and I was eager to spend time with them. When I arrived at their house Saturday morning, the scene that greeted me was shocking. The place was an absolute disaster. Dishes were piled up in the sink, dirty laundry was scattered everywhere, toys were strewn across the living room, and the kitchen counter was a sticky mess of spilled juice and crumbs. Marcus was hurriedly putting on his jacket. "Mom, thanks so much. The kids already had lunch. We'll be back by 6. "Marcus," I said, "the house looks a bit chaotic." "Oh yeah," he said casually. "Jennifer was going to clean, but this emergency came up. If you have some free time, maybe you could tidy up a bit." And then he left. I was alone with 8-year-old Emma and 6-year-old Jake. The children were also uncomfortable with the state of the house, constantly asking, "Where is this toy?" because nothing was in its proper place. I spent 5 hours that day cleaning. I washed dishes, collected and washed laundry, swept and mopped floors, put toys back in their places. I played with the children, cooked meals, gave them baths. When Marcus and Jennifer returned, the house was spotless. "Mom, it looks amazing," Jennifer said. "Thank you so much." Marcus added, "You're a real lifesaver, Mom. I don't know what we would have done without you." The compliments made me feel good. I felt useful, needed. But this wasn't a one-time situation. The next weekend, they called again. This time, Jennifer had a work meeting, and Marcus had plans to meet old friends. "Mom, could you watch the kids again? And since you'll be there, maybe you could tidy up a bit." I went again. I cleaned again. This routine continued. Every weekend, different excuses. Doctor appointments, work meetings, meeting friends, shopping trips. Each time, I would babysit the children and clean their house. What started as just tidying up a bit gradually became comprehensive housework. I wasn't just washing dishes anymore. I was doing laundry and folding it, cleaning floors, scrubbing bathrooms, changing bed sheets, organizing the refrigerator. Marcus even once said to me, "Mom, could you clean the oven too? Jennifer has been putting that off for weeks." After 6 months, this had become my weekend routine. Marcus would call Friday evenings, and Saturday mornings I'd go to their house, do housework all day and watch the children. Sunday evenings, I'd return home exhausted. But when I started to realize the real problem, things got even worse. One Saturday, I had arrived at their house a bit early. When I used my key to enter, I found Marcus and Jennifer in the living room watching television. Both were still in their pajamas, drinking coffee, casually watching Netflix series. "Mom," Marcus said, startled, "you're early." "Don't you have appointments?" I asked. Marcus and Jennifer looked at each other. "Oh, they got canceled," Jennifer said. "But since you're here—" "Yes," Marcus said, laughing, "our weekend cleaning service has arrived." Weekend cleaning service. That's what they called me. In that moment, everything became clear. They didn't have any emergencies. They didn't have any unmissable appointments. They were just using me as their free cleaning lady, and they were enjoying it. But I didn't say anything that day. I just smiled and started cleaning as usual, because a plan was beginning to form in my mind. I spent that week thinking. I calculated how many hours I had spent at their house in the past 6 months. An average of 8 hours per week for 26 weeks. 208 hours. How much would a professional cleaning company charge for this many hours? Approximately $4,000. But it wasn't really about the money that hurt me. What hurt was that they were treating me like a fool, seeing me as a powerless old woman, viewing me as someone who could be exploited. The next Saturday, Marcus called again. "Mom, are you free this weekend? Jennifer and I are planning to have a spa day." "Of course, son," I said, same as always. But this time would be different. During that week, I met with a real estate agent. My house, where I had lived for 30 years, was in excellent condition and had a perfect location. "This house will sell very quickly," she said. "If you want, we can work with private buyers and sell it without putting it on the market." "Yes," I said, "make it as fast as possible." I also called my sister Linda in Florida. She was retired and living in a beautiful house near Tampa. "Linda," I said, "could I stay in your guest room for an extended period?" "Patricia, of course," she said. "What's happening?" "It's time for a life change." That weekend, I cleaned Marcus and Jennifer's house for the last time. But this time, I didn't just clean, I also gathered evidence. I saw spa reservation documents on their bedroom dresser, a $400 full-day package. On the kitchen counter were notes about plans to play golf with friends. They had no emergencies, no important business. They just wanted to have fun, and I was their free babysitter and cleaning lady. That day, I cooked for Emma and Jake for the last time, read them books for the last time, picked up their toys for the last time. I loved the children, but their parents were treating me like a slave. When Marcus and Jennifer returned that evening, everything was spotless as always. "Mom, you've done an amazing job again," Marcus said. "You're our weekend cleaning service." I smiled. "Anytime," I said. The following Monday, the house was sold. Cash buyer, no questions asked, just signatures and handover. Wednesday, the moving company came and loaded my belongings into their truck. Thursday, I flew to Florida. I didn't tell Marcus anything. Friday evening, my phone went crazy. Marcus was calling from his own house. "Mom, I'm knocking on the door, but no one's answering. There are no lights on inside either. Where are you?" I didn't answer. Saturday morning, he called again. "Mom, the neighbors say the house has been sold. This can't be true. Tell me where you are." I still didn't answer. Saturday afternoon, Jennifer was calling, crying. "Patricia, where are you? The children are asking about you. Marcus is going crazy. There's a sold sign on the house." That's when I answered. "Jennifer," I said calmly, "I'm in Florida." "Florida? Why? When are you coming back?" "I'm not coming back." "But why? We love you. We need you." "Jennifer, you don't need me. You just need my free cleaning service." There was silence. Then, "Patricia, that was just a joke." "It wasn't a joke to me. For 3 years, you used me like a slave. Now find yourself a new maid." Marcus took the phone. "Mom, are you crazy? What do you mean selling your house and going to Florida? What about us?" "Marcus," I said, "for 3 years, you never gave me a single Saturday off to rest. You constantly used me, made fun of me, called me your weekend cleaning service." "Mom, we didn't mean it like that." "You meant it exactly like that, and I meant this exactly like this." "But what about your grandchildren? Emma and Jake are wondering about you." "I love them, Marcus, but as long as you see me only as free labor, I can't see them either." "Mom, please, we made a mistake. We're sorry." "It's too late, Marcus. Some mistakes can't be fixed." I hung up and blocked his number. The next day, Jennifer tried calling from her own number. "Patricia, please, the children are crying. Marcus is depressed. We understand our mistake." "Jennifer," I said, "if you really understood your mistake, you wouldn't have continued it for 3 years." "We're sorry. We realized how valuable you are." "I wasn't valuable, Jennifer. I was free. That's the difference." "How can we make it up to you?" "You can't. It's too late now." She was blocked too. 2 months later, while I was sitting at Linda's house, there was a knock on the door. Marcus, Jennifer, and the children were there. They had come all the way to Florida. "Mom," Marcus said, "can we talk?" Linda looked at me before letting them in. I nodded my approval. We sat in the living room. Emma and Jake ran to me and hugged me. I had missed them so much. Mom, Marcus said, we've been thinking for the past 2 months. You were right. We used you. We were disrespectful. We're truly sorry. Yes, Jennifer said. You did everything for us, and we took it for granted. What do you want now? I asked. We want you to come back, Marcus said. We'll buy a house. You can live nearby. But this time it will be different. You're our mother, not our maid. Marcus, I said, it's too late. I've built a different life now. But your grandchildren. I love Emma and Jake. I can see them at Christmas and in the summer. But I'm no longer your free worker. Mom, please, we want to make up for our mistake. Some things can't be made up for, Marcus. For 3 years, you trampled on my dignity. It's that simple. They returned to Colorado crying. Now it's been a year. I bought a small but beautiful house in Florida. My neighbors are wonderful. We help each other, but no one exploits anyone. I joined the local book club. I'm taking gardening classes. I go for walks on the beach. Marcus still calls occasionally to apologize. Mom, we've really changed. We do the housework ourselves now. Good, Marcus, I say. That's how it should have been anyway. Emma and Jake stayed with me for 10 days in the summer. We had a wonderful time, went to the beach, watched dolphin shows, but most importantly, I taught them that it's wrong for one person to exploit another. Grandma, Emma said, why are you angry with us? I'm not angry with you, sweetheart, I said. I'm angry with your mom and dad because they treated me disrespectfully. They apologized to you. I know, Emma, but sometimes apologizing isn't enough. Sometimes people have to live with the consequences of their actions. Now Emma is 9 and Jake is 7. We talk on the phone, we have video calls, but I can't return to being Denver's cleaning service. Because I learned that respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And if they're not treating you with respect, you shouldn't continue giving them that opportunity. Marcus still tries to convince me. Mom, we're different now. We treat you like a princess. Marcus, I say, I don't want to be treated like a princess. I just wanted to be treated like a human being. And now I am, in Florida at 68 years old, free and happy. The final straw came about 6 months after I had moved to Florida. Marcus called me, and for the first time in our conversations, he sounded genuinely desperate rather than just apologetic. Mom, he said, Jennifer and I have been going to counseling. The therapist says we have control issues and that we exploited you. We're working on it. That's good, Marcus, I said. I'm glad you're getting help. She also said that what we did to you was a form of elder abuse. We never thought of it that way, but, Mom, we abused you. I'm so ashamed. This was the first time he had used that word, abuse, and hearing him say it, I realized he was finally beginning to understand the gravity of what they had done. Mom, could you ever forgive us? Not come back, I understand that's probably never going to happen, but could you forgive us? I was quiet for a long time. Marcus, I finally said, I can forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean going back to the way things were. I understand, he said. I want you to know that we know what we did was wrong, and we're teaching the kids differently. Emma asked me last week why she has to clean her room, and I told her it's because everyone in a family has to contribute. No one person should do all the work. That's good, I said. That's how it should be. Mom, I love you, and I'm sorry it took losing you for me to realize how badly we treated you. I love you too, Marcus, but I love myself too much now to go back to being treated that way. Today, I'm sitting on my back porch in Florida, watching the sunset over the palm trees, and I feel something I hadn't felt in years, completely at peace. My phone is on silent, not because I'm avoiding anyone, but because I choose when to engage with the world. Yesterday, my neighbor Mrs. Rodriguez brought me homemade empanadas just because she thought I might enjoy them. Last week, the man at the grocery store helped me load my car and refused to let me tip him. These people barely know me, but they treat me with more basic human kindness and respect than my own son did for 3 years. I've learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the ones who take the biggest advantage of that love. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for them is to remove that opportunity. Marcus sends me photos of Emma and Jake occasionally. They're growing up so fast. In the latest picture, Emma was helping Jennifer fold laundry, and Jake was setting the table. The caption read, "Learning that everyone contributes." I'm proud of them for learning that lesson. I just wish it hadn't taken losing their grandmother for them to learn it. But maybe that's the point. Maybe some lessons are so important that they're worth any price. If you're watching this and you recognize yourself in my story, either as someone being taken advantage of or as someone doing the taking, please know that it's never too late to change. But also know that change requires action, not just words. Words are easy. Apologies are easy. Respect is something you show through your actions day after day, year after year. And if someone in your life isn't showing you that respect, you have the right to walk away. No matter how old you are, no matter how much history you have together, no matter what other people might say about your decision. You deserve to be treated like a human being, not like free labor. And if you're not getting that basic respect, sometimes the most loving thing you can do is teach people what life looks like without you. That's the end of my story. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family members who were taking advantage of you? Share your experience in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. I tell stories like this every day because we all deserve to know we're not alone in these experiences.